Mr. Survey? Ms. Weinstein?
Here.
Mr. Postle?
He's already here.
Mr. Keller? Mrs. Atkinson?
Here.
Mr. Murphy? Mrs. Winkler? Ms. Moore?
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's nice to see so many students here who will be honoring shortly for all of your hard work, so congratulations. I hope everybody enjoys what is left of our summer. It seems they go faster each year. Today I got to attend the Whiting Elementary School New Student Orientation. My son, who was once an MTSD Dragon, is now a Whiting Wildcat, so we went to that. It was very organized and well done. Please see the district website for upcoming orientations, back to school nights, etc. Everything's updated on there. I would like to say congratulations to our new administrators who will be approving tonight. You'll get to meet a little bit later. Congratulations to all those being acknowledged in the Manchester patch for being outstanding educators. It's so nice to see the write-ups that different people write about them. Please don't forget to join your PTA as they do so much for our schools and our students. And I hope everybody here, all the students, have a great school year. Get involved and make lots of memories.
Good evening, everyone. My apologies, I'm a little under the weather, so if my voice sounds a little scary, my apologies to all of you. On the agenda, you'll see this evening that we have a retirement. Miss Joseph, Danielle Joseph, was a regional day school paraprofessional. She worked there for 18 years, and we wish her the best and congratulations on her. You'll find on the agenda that we have Spring 2024 access scores. That presentation will be made available. Thank you to Dr. Debbie Saracino for creating not only the presentation, but also a video that goes along with it. We will share that this evening on our website. I do want to thank our teams who have been diligently working on curriculum, staff development, and facility readiness. We're excited about the upcoming year and the opportunities it presents for our students. Regarding staffing, you'll see that there has been a lot of hiring going on over the school year. And as this month said, congratulations to all of our new staff. We welcome you to Manchester Township School District. At this point, I would like to just remind everybody that although summer is going to be coming to an end shortly, we do have some exciting things coming up, which would be our opening of schools. So we look forward to seeing our staff back on Tuesday, September 3rd, and our students joining us on Thursday, September 5th. This time I'd like to ask Ms. Teeple to come up so that we can recognize and congratulate our AP students that are being honored this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so thrilled to present some awards of achievement for our AP students. Although this will be my last AP presentation, definitely still honored to be a part of it. And the reason it's my last is I am now working at the Ridgeway Elementary School, so very excited. Thank you. But to close up, so the AP program at Manchester Township High School provides opportunities for students to engage in rigorous course programming that they can potentially get college credit for. So the course is designed kind of like an introductory course for college to expose students to what is the next level after high school. They basically develop the essential skills one would need at the university or the college level and beyond. Oh, there we go. So basically, the way it works is the AP exam is scored on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest one could receive. And generally, a score of 4 or 5 indicates mastery at the college level. So the success of this program obviously is the hard work of our students, the support of our families and parents at home, because they could not do this without you, but also definitely to recognize our district's vision for rigorous course offerings, obviously our Board of Education who approves it and supports it, but also our building level administration at high school and our teachers, right? We can't get here without our fantastic teachers. For students to get college credit, it's generally they have to score a 3, a 4, or a 5. But it's not every single university or college. You would have to look at the different institution you are looking to apply to and what their scores are, right? Again, everyone is different. One thing is kind of neat. I remember a story of a student who went down to the University of Florida, and through her experiences of AP for 4 years at Manchester High School, she was able to start as almost a third-year student in her first year of university. She had finished almost 2 full years, which is pretty incredible when you're considering the amount of time and money she is saving from these opportunities that we're able to present to our students here. So tonight we are recognizing students who scored a 4 or a 5. And I will tell you, I am so proud to say our list is very long. That does not mean it is easy. To score a 4 or 5 is an exceptional feat. And again, we are so proud of our students. So one thing that College Board has introduced this year is there's different scholar awards. So we have an AP Scholar with honors, and AP Scholar with distinction. So of that, we have 50 students who have just received that, if you will, acknowledgement. And so even if students have 4 or 5, it doesn't mean they got the AP Scholar or honors. This is sort of that next level within it. And you can see there's different requirements to receive that AP Scholar with honors, or with distinction. One of the things with College Board is they could receive, like if you're looking at for distinction, granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.5 on all AP exams taken, and a score of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. Now that's pretty incredible right off the bat, right? But if at any point a student received, let's say, a 2, then that would disqualify them for the distinction, even though they may have excelled in other areas. So it's really important we recognize our AP faculty at the high school. Our courses range in the mathematics, English, social studies, science. We're very fortunate, and computer science as well, we're very fortunate to be able to offer all these courses for our students. So, without further ado, I'm going to start calling some students up. So, our first student is, I'm going to have you come down here because the certificate's over here. Our first student is William Ashton for AP Language and Composition, a 4 and an AP Scholar. Number 2 is Lacey Barbario, AP English Language and Composition, and received a 4. Our next student, Veronica Vigos, AP Calculus, BC with an AP subscore of 4 and also an AP Scholar. The next student participated in 3 AP exams that we are recognizing him for. It's Christopher Cavallo for AP Chemistry, AP Calculus BC, and AP Calculus BC, all 4s and an AP Scholar. Can you stay up here so we take one big picture at the end? I'm sorry. Thank you. All right, next student, again, several courses, Noah Cundiff for AP Chemistry, AP Calculus BC, AB Subscore, and AP Calculus BC, all received a 4 and an AP Scholar. Malin Dobb, AP Psychology, received a 4. Alana Idell, AP English Language, AP English Literature and Composition, 4, and also an AP Scholar. Catherine Espinel, AP Psychology, a 5. Next student, Emily Fisher, AP Psychology, received a 4 and is an AP Scholar. Next student, Brett Goldman, AP Modern World History, a 4. Riley Hayes, AP English Language and Composition, a 4. All right, so Taylor Hengy has 2. Taylor has AP Statistics, a 5 with an AP Scholar with Distinction, and AP Environmental Science, a 4, and again, AP Scholar with Distinction. Patricia Hines, AP English Language and Composition, a 5. Andrew Dion, he's got a few, AP Environmental Science, AP Calculus BC, and AP Calculus BC with an AB subscore, all 4s. Next student, again, is Donovan Kelleher. He has AP Calculus BC, AB subscore 4, and AP Calculus BC. Brian Kutch has 2 AP exams that he's being recognized for and is an AP Scholar, AP US History and AP Human Geography, 4. Catherine Ann LaPrea, AP Psychology and AP English Literature and Composition, both scores of 4. Zishan Maloon, AP English Language and Composition, score of 4. It's so fortunate, it's hard to keep track of all the certificates because there's so many fantastic kids. Zishan Maloon? Dante Mortale, AP Calculus with a BC with an AP subscore is a 4 and an AP Scholar. Hannah Wen, AP Psychology, a 4. My next student, 3 exams. Sullivan Nolan for AP US History, AP English Language and Composition, AP Comparative Government and Politics, all scores of 5 and an AP Scholar with honor. All right, our next student, Aiden Okranzinski. He is an AP Scholar with distinction. He has AP US History, 4, AP Human Geography, a 4, AP Calculus BC 5, AP Calculus BC with an AB subscore 5, and AP Biology, a 4. Now at the core, she is AP Scholar with honors and is for AP Chemistry, AP Calculus BC with an AB subscore, AP Calculus BC, and all scores are 4. We have Alexander Cuenca, AP Chemistry, score of 4, and he's an AP Scholar with honors. AP Calculus BC and AB subscore, and AB Calculus BC scores of 4. Next student we have is Jamie Pope. Jamie received a 5 in all of her exams. She's an AP Scholar, that's AP Psychology, AP Calculus BC with an AB subscore, and an AP Calculus BC. Next student is Ella Raja. She is an AP Scholar with distinction, receiving a 4 in all her exams, AP English Language and Composition, AP Comparative Government and Politics, AP Calculus BC with an AB subscore, and then an AP Calculus BC. Unfortunately, I think some of our students have left college, but I think that's why we're fortunate. Yes, absolutely fortunate. Unfortunate for us to be able to celebrate them in person. Next student, Azra Ramos. He's an AP Scholar with distinction, AP US History a 5, and AP Environmental Science with a 4. Next student, Shawnette Samuel. Both scores of 4, AP Calculus BC with an AB subscore, and AP Calculus BC. The next student is an AP Scholar with distinction, Lucas Serafina. He has AP English Language and Composition of 4, AP Chemistry of 4, AP Calculus BC with an AB subscore of 5, and AP Calculus BC with a score of 5. All right, next student is an AP Scholar with distinction, receiving 4s on both exams. It is Daniel Sharkey for AP English Language and Composition and AP Chemistry. Next student, Olivia Spross, AP Psychology and AP English Language and Composition, both score of 4. The next student, Natalia Stevens. She is an AP Scholar, score of 4 in both exams, AP English Literature and Composition and AP Biology. Caitlin Van Pelt, AP Scholar, AP English Language and Composition of 5, and AP Comparative Government 4. And the last student, Alexander Vasilati, apologize, AP Calculus BC with an AP sub score 4 and AP Calculus BC 4. Here is our AP students. Pretty phenomenal feat. I don't know how long I was up here, but that's pretty incredible, and that tells you so much about the education here in the Manchester Township School District.
We have a clicker?
Hey everybody. So tonight I'm presenting our school safety report, which is part of our mandatory reporting requirements for the Department of Education. If you remember in the spring, I reported our first half of the year activity, and now we're going to report the full year activity. Where am I pointing here? Where am I pointing? Did you find a good area here, Sarah? Where am I pointing? Circular. Certain button. Which button? Oh, I think. Oh, this is it? Yeah. Is this the next slide? Yeah. So again, I was just explaining, this is the system that we use to report all of our incidents during the course of the year. I reported the first half of the year in the spring, and then this is the second half of the year. Advanced. Yeah. So when we report incidents, these are the categories that we're reporting incidents in: violence, vandalism, substance use, weapons, hate, harassment, intimidation, bullying, confirmed investigations, and then just alleged cases of those. And then there are incidents with each of these categories that we'll go over tonight. So the first slide that we're going to look at is just the total incidents over the last 4 years. So at the end of the day, when you look at 23-24, we had a total of 84 incidents. That's actually 2 fewer incidents than last year. So for all intent and purposes, pretty much in keeping with what a typical year has looked like. You know, you get to 2021, you're talking about the hybrid post-COVID. 21-22 were restrictions. Last year and this year, we're kind of getting back to business as usual, if you will. And the totals are similar. But when you look a little bit deeper into the categories, you'll see some shifts in some of the different incidents. So for example, incidents of violence, our numbers increased a significant number. Vandalism went down, and one of the most positive numbers is our incidence of substances or suspected substance use in our buildings was down pretty dramatically as well. weapons, which are typically incidents of a student bringing something by mistake to the building, about the same. Our hit confirmed is another number that we got to look at. That number went up last year. You know, those are confirmed harassment, intimidation, bullying investigations. And the number of alleged incidents was right around the same, but a little bit high. But that gives you an idea of 24, 23, 24 relative to the past 4 years. And then when we take a look at this year, 23, 24, just period 1 versus period 2. You know, and the periods are not exactly even. So the second half of the year is longer because it's January and June. But you'll see that there was still a significant increase in our activity in the second half of the year versus the first half of the year, particularly in the areas of violence. You look at, and again, our hit confirmed was a dramatic rise, and our alleged hits was a little bit higher than what you might expect. So it's also interesting to keep in mind that this is the information that our building school safety teams are going to use as the school year starts to say, okay, how did last year finish? What are some areas that we want to focus on? Let's take a look at what last year looked like, and what are some things that we want to do from a building perspective for this year. It also gives us an opportunity as a district to say, what are some things that we want to have in place to help address some of these situations. So those are some of the conversations we've had from an administrative perspective over the summer, and then the buildings will hit the ground running in September. So these are just incidents in reporting period 2. So we just look at all the reporting periods 2. Again, it's a little bit longer. You can see that the numbers are pretty much aligned with the other second halves of the year in terms of they're typically higher than they were the first half of the year, with this year being a pretty significant increase. And now we'll start to take a look at some of the categories and where some of these things are taking place. So for example, when we look at the violence report, it breaks up into a number of different categories, most of which don't apply to our schools, but they're things that we would have to report if that kind of activity is happening in the buildings. But you do talk about assault, which is, for all intent and purposes, the common definition is a one-sided fight, right? A situation where one student's going to become physical and the other student doesn't want to be physical. And we had an increase in the second half of the year, this year versus last year. We're also seeing a trend that we have some more physical incidents at the middle school. But this is also the opportunity for the middle school to look at who are the students who are taking part in these things. Do we have repeat offenders? Do we have students in certain groups that are being more involved than others? And at the end of the day, the numbers are pretty small. And if we start to, so that's an opportunity to say, okay, this is a look at what happened in the second half of the year. Are there some things that we want to put in place that can help address some of these instances? And again, you'll see most of the physical activity is taking place at the middle school and the high school, with a little bit of an increase, an increase at the middle school that was pretty substantial. It's also important to keep in mind that with our school resource officer, our classroom officers, and all the buildings, we're constantly in communication with the police. So not all physical altercations are the same. Sometimes you can have a situation where two students become physical with each other in a setting, and it doesn't rise to the level of either student being injured, or maybe they were friends and they just got into a physical argument, versus, you know, two students at a high school who can get into a physical altercation that, you know, could lead to police involvement and those kinds of things. So it's important to understand that all those are very readily available to us, but when you boil it down to this, not all of these situations are the same. They might fit into the same category, but that does not mean that they are the same. So, but again, it gives all the buildings a really good picture of a place to start, and what do we want to focus on for next year. Again, vandalism, we had a few very small, minor, incidents in terms of those types of things. All three of them happened to happen at the middle school. And so, this is an example of a student throwing something and mistakenly breaking a window or something along those lines. But these are not, real serious incidents of vandalism, but we did have a few, and pretty much in keeping with what we've seen, actually fewer incidents of this this year versus last year.
Mr. George, what was the false public alarm?
It was basically somebody posting something about a potential situation that didn't happen. And again, police were notified, and everything was followed. This, I think, is what I hope to see the beginning of a good trend in our schools in regards to our substance report. Again, we've put SAC in the middle school. We've really put a lot of emphasis on education. We've made some policy changes for the district in regards to students suspected of being under the influence and under the influence. But we did see a dramatic, in both reporting periods, decrease in use confirmed, meaning somebody was suspected and turned out to be under the influence, or somebody who was in possession of something in one of the buildings. Again, you're seeing these incidents at the middle school and the high school, and also at the region-based schools. But I do feel like the district and the board has made a real effort to try and educate and be also set a really strong example of what it's going to look like if you engage in this kind of behavior in the schools. And we've got date sensors at the middle school and the high school. We've got a lot of things that are going to bringing this number down. But I'd like to think that this is the start of hopefully a trend we'll see continue. In the case of weapons, we had no incidents reported this year, which is a good thing. Like I said, typically this is a situation where somebody might forget that they had a knife in the backpack, or fishing, or whatever it might be, but we had no incidents. Now, harassment, intimidation, bullying, this is just in period 2. And this gives you an idea of what was going on in each building. So, and the first number is the number of confirmed cases, and the second number of it is of investigations that took place. And you'll see, for all intent and purposes, the numbers are somewhat in keeping with what typically the school. The one that kind of pops out here is Ridgeway. Had a very busy spring, and there were some confirmed incidents. It's interesting because as you start to look at this at the elementary, they tend to be grades 4 and 5. A number of them tend to be social media, somehow influenced. And talking to some people at the elementary school, some of the things that were taking place, for example, at Whiting in the first half of the year, got to Ridgeway in the second half of the year. So if you were to look at Whiting, might have had a busier first half of the year. But we saw some of those situations kind of playing out in Ridgeway. Again, the building's looking at, do we have repeat offenders in these areas? If it gets to that point, we have to put a specific action plan in place for a student. So there's a number of things that go on, but the buildings will also look at, are there categories that we need to look at? Are kids using certain terms, or is there patterns of behavior and topics that we need to address? And that'll be part of what each school safety team looks at to say, what kind of assemblies do we want to bring in this year? Last year, the state came out with that NJ4S, which is a new grant-funded program, which we took advantage of last year and had some really good assemblies. So those are some of the things that they'll utilize this year as well. So, when we look at, where do we use this information and how do we do it? The nice thing about the fall is it all starts with a really good, strong opening to the school year, right? Especially, you now can target your opening address as a principal based on some of the things that might have been going on last year, just to really set that tone. And then the other thing is the school safety teams meet, and this is part of some of the information. Hipster is a great resource, is what we use to track all of our investigations. So the buildings and the school safety teams will work on really targeting some assemblies and things that they want to bring in. As I said, we brought in the prosecutor's office in the past. We brought in NJ4S. Lead U is a group that is now working with Preferred Behavioral and the NJ4S, which is a group that's done some wonderful programs in our schools. So we'll be looking to benefit from those programs. And then a little bit bigger picture from more of a district perspective. One of the things that we started last year was a threat assessment team. And it was a new initiative from the State Department of Education. We elected last year to go with a district-wide team, meaning that if there was a situation going on in a building, we could utilize this team to help address that student situation. We're going to shift that this year and bring those teams into the buildings all the time, so that it becomes more specific and a little bit more flexible to respond to, do we have some patterns going on in a specific student, and do we need to bring all the resources of the school to bear? So the threat assessment team is made up of the school resource officer, the school safety specialist, me, the building principal, the school psychologist, but then also teachers or parents or other people in the building who could potentially have a positive impact on a student in a given situation. You know, all individualized to that kid.
Okay, that answered my question. Okay, because, you know, my son might know a different teacher.
And that's the exact idea.
So-
Right, you know, is there a connection that we can leverage in this situation to hopefully get things moving in the right direction? So, you know, that's something that we'll be doing. And then again, obviously, we have our SEL initiatives going on. Another program that we're going to be working with this year, which I think is going to be a really positive experience for everybody, is Lifelines is a suicide prevention by the Society of Prevention for Teen Suicide. And we got grant funded through Preferred Behavioral to have the program brought to our district. So what that does is the first thing they do is they will come in and take a look at all of our policies and our procedures, just to see if there are some resources that they can bring to help our child study team members and our counselors from that perspective. They're going to do a staff survey just to see how the staff feels about topics and resources and information that they might need. Then they will do a series of trainings throughout the year that will end in lessons being delivered in health and phys ed at the middle school and at the high school, and then a parent component as well. So it'll really be a great opportunity for us to look at the district and our program and our prevention strategies from A to Z. And so that's something that we'll be engaging in this year as well. Again, we've got the house system in place for the first year here. The middle school is something we'll continue, as well as our restorative practices initiative across the but, so that's our second half, our full year. And like I said, it really is a good launching pad for the buildings and the teams for September. Any questions?
Good job. At this time, I'd like to invite the military ambassador to give us a report.
As usual, I want to thank the district for your continued support to the children and families of the base, and we look forward to working with you guys in this upcoming school year for any initiatives and trips to the base and stuff. So, thanks.
Today we have two representatives from our student government. We have Ms. Emily Johnson and Mr. Daniel Sharkey.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emily Johnson, and I'm the executive president.
My name is Daniel Sharkey, and I'm the executive vice president. I hope everyone is having a nice summer. The reason why I'm speaking for you tonight is to provide you, the board, with important information regarding the activities and events that have taken place that are currently being planned within our high school community since the last meeting. And here are our events that we've been working on as student council. Our full group SGA meeting will be on August 22, 2024 at 11:30 a.m. between freshmen and building tours, so tomorrow. Our members will be helping with building tours, so all grades, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and parking spot. Things tradition continues starting tomorrow. Students can aim between August 22nd and September 1st.
And once the school year kicks off, we have Club Rush, which will take place between September 16th and September 20th. And what Club Rush is, for some of you who do not know, it is a great opportunity for incoming freshmen or returning students, recent students new to school, to open up to extracurriculars after school, or something that taking place in school. And it just displays what variety we have in our school. And one of the clubs will introduce freshmen to SGA, which our elections for the freshmen will take place at the end of September, which we are anticipating. We would really appreciate more help in school. And our Fall Spirit Week will take place between September 23rd and September 27th, and our homecoming game will be September 27th, following our homecoming dance on September 28th. I would just like to say thank you for allowing us to represent the MTSD student government at the board meeting this evening. We are truly honored to speak here with all of you and have the opportunity to fill all of you in on our SGA has to offer. And we've been working very hard on, and we look forward to in the following school year. Thank you again, and have a great night.
At this time, I'd like to get Mr. Brinson's report.
Just a couple items on the agenda. We have a couple shared service agreements on the agenda and tuition agreement in place for a student that we are going to accept from in our preschool disabled program. This will be a tuition-based placement, so Lakehurst will pay us tuition for their student to attend our program. We have a shared service agreement on the agenda to provide a bus aid for a student, a Lacey student that attends a regional day school. We have a paraprofessional that lives in Lacey and has done it a little bit last year and is going to continue to do it. So we have a shared service agreement set up for that. We also have a shared service agreement set up with Plumstead Township School District. We currently share one of our physical therapists, one of our part-time physical therapists with them. She's with us 3 days a week and with them 2 days a week. So this is another shared service agreement where they will, for those 2 days a week, they will reimburse the district. And then lastly, we have 2 agreements on the agenda for our upcoming gymnastics season. For the previous years, we pretty much ran all of our gymnastics through Jackson Township. We had a shared service agreement with them to hold our gymnastics practices and meets there. This year, they bumped up their shared service fee. It started out at $1,500. I think now it's up to $5,000 or $6,000 they wanted. So we found another place, Legacy Gymnastics, where we will hold our practices. And our one home meet that we have, we will hold at Jackson Township. So that's the reason there's 2 different agreements. One will be for where our girls practice, and the other one will be for the one meet that we run, and the rest of the meets will be paid. So those are the things on the agenda for tonight. I just want to bring your attention.
At this time of the meeting, we invite anybody from the audience who has questions on agenda items only to come to the microphone. Do we have any board member reports? Is there any old business or correspondence?
No business, no correspondence.
Okay, now we'll move to the agenda, section 1A, new business numbers 1 to 3. Can I get a motion? Motion. Second. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mr. Paz.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Atkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Merkin. Mrs. Winkler.
Yes.
Mrs. Knight.
Yes. Sections B through E, can I get a motion, please? Motion. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mr. Paz.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Atkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Merkin. Mrs. Winkler.
Yes.
Mrs. Knight.
Yes. Section 2, administrative, numbers 1 to 3. Can I please get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mr. Paz. Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Atkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Merkin. Mrs. Winkler.
Yes.
Mrs. Knight.
Yes, thank you. Members who contribute.
So before we go into personnel, I do have one item I do need to read in. This will be item number 10, and it is to rescind the approval for Rose Kilmer, long-term substitute teacher for the high school, from 9/1/24 to 4/1/25. She was in for a leave of absence for chemo. She left a full-time job. Found out right after the agenda was turned, so it's going to be bad.
You said number 10.
Yeah, well, there will be number 10. Keep it under section B number 10.
Okay. So, now the personnel, there's a lot of them here, numbers 1 through 57. Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
Discussion. I'd like to say congratulations to Mr. Saratelli, who's leaving the classroom to become an administrator, and welcome aboard Mr. Johnston and Ms. Lorenzo. Can I get a roll call, please?
You're not official. Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mr. Pons.
Yes, and I'm seeing from 52 to 55.
Mr. Keller.
Yes, I'm seeing from 13.
Mrs. Atkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Merkin. Mrs. Winkler.
Yeah.
Mrs. Knight.
Yes.
All right, congratulations.
D, Special Services, number 1, can I get a motion, please? Any discussion? Are these move-ins?
These are some of what we discussed earlier.
Okay. And for those of you that don't know, when a child moves in to our district from another district that's in an out-of-district placement, we do have 30 days to review the placement, and hopefully come up with a program within our own district that will allow the kid to attend the school within our district. Can I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mr. Potts. Yes. Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Atkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy. Mrs. Wingber.
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes. Section 3, Finance, numbers 1 through 5. Can I get a motion, please?
Move.
Second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mr. Potts. Yes. Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mrs. Atkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy. Mrs. Wingber.
Yes.
And Mrs. Moore.
Yes. At this time, we'd like to invite anybody to make a public comment. If anybody would like to come to the microphone. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Enjoy what's left of summer, everybody.
Yeah.